is a lovely open parkland, and we have a wooded area with a lake and a little stream. It's a very beautiful little area. I've lived next to the area for about 20 years. We had some planting here that was about sort of 10 years ago, and the trees have thrived and done really well. And within that area, we've got new mushrooms coming up. We've seen new signs of wildlife, and it's really nice, isn't it, Aurora? Because we've got like a new wooded area that we can now walk through and explore. And then now we've got the second planting. This goes all the way along next to the original planting just to expand the woodland, and we're hoping this is just as successful. Being out in nature, having this on my back garden is incredibly important. Both my children are autistic and I home educate both of them, so basically out here is our classroom. Being in nature grounds us, it keeps everyone calm, it's a much easier environment to be in than to be indoors. So to just come out here and just be with the trees, putting the guards back when they come off, and just hugging a tree. It just feels good. I think the Wild East Map of Dreams is such a great idea for the fact that it will stop you feeling lonely. When you're out there rewilding your garden, building your bug hotel, you're not on your own. You can see that there's actually people all around you doing the same thing, because it can be quite feel like, oh, it's just me. The rest of the world just wants to chop the trees down and build houses, and I've got this little tiny bit.
It's important that people are engaged with these spaces that we create and that we maintain, and that we're part of as part of the Wild East community here in East Anglia. We're a small and I hope significant part in this area. So we're here at the big garden in Highwoods Country Park in Colchester. This is our main headquarters where most of our activity happens. We are also out in the community. We have a number of community gardens out in the community, as well as schools gardens around primary schools in Colchester. On this particular site, we run therapeutic services, therapeutic and educational services really on site, working with the NHS, with funding from the NHS to deliver green care packages. In terms of the specific space itself, it's a very well designed space to make people feel comfortable. You can see it's bounded by gates and fences, but it's also bounded by this wonderful 450-acre wood that we have. So we always say that by the time people get here, they've had to walk through a woodland setting to get to a gate. And you know what? Maybe 50% of the work is already done by getting up out of bed, by walking through the woods to get and see a smiley face here.
As I do watering, weeding and digging and sometimes planting, depending what the time of year is really.
It lifts my mood. It's very helpful if you have had problems with depression, which I have had. I guess it's very important because it makes you feel that you can actually do something to effect change. And sometimes it's not very easy to see that. You see all the destruction of nature around you. And you think, what can I do? I'm only one person. If you connect in with other people and other organisations, you get more of a feeling that actually you can do something.
We're on Magnolia Field in Grinstead, and we are standing in front of a community orchard that was planted very recently with some volunteers and the help of the Borough Council. So we have apple trees mainly and cherry, I believe. They are sort of different varieties of fruit trees that we hope that when they grow, the community will just be able to come, pick some apples, make their own, jellies and jams if they want to, or, just free food and community, bring the community together really. So.
Last job we actually done was put in the fruit trees, and then previous to that, round about just before Christmas, was it? Yes, it was. It was the 8th of December. I know that because it was my mum's birthday, bless her. And we stuck in the region of 300 trees, I believe it is, over that side.
It's sort of passing on my love and my passion to somebody else. It doesn't deplete me, it energises me. So and being in the outdoors, there's no better place really. The birds are singing, sky is blue. But the planting was great. Unity School came out and planted the trees. Their teachers came out. people are understanding a little bit more now about climate change and the importance of planting trees and for biodiversity as well, for the birds, and so slowly.
Not to put a pun on it, but the group is growing, literally.
At the moment we're standing in the middle of King's Meadow, next to the River Colne and next to Colchester Castle Park. We're here under a blue sky, we can hear the birds singing, we've got the breeze blowing, and the trees aren't even in leaf yet, and already it's a happier place than just a bare field of grass, short mown grass. Around some of these trees we're going to allow the grass to grow, so there'll be long grass, there'll be wildflowers, there'll be shrubs growing. The value of this field to nature is going to increase fourfold in the next, literally within the next year or so. Just here we've created what we're calling blossom circles. We've got 4 different glades of concentric rings of trees. So we've got a total of 160 trees here. Blossom trees certainly are very important for the pollinators. The bees, the butterflies, the wasps, the flies, the other insects that need blossom to survive. And if the pollinators don't live, then they're not pollinating other plants, so therefore our food chain is in trouble. We've got to find this balance. We've got to choose open spaces where we can convert some of it, maybe 20% to being rewilding, but then we can leave the other 80% to be there for children to play, to be there for the general public to walk, to jog. You've only got to be here to know what it means. It feels wonderful.